and it's got an external microphone. Anyway, you're sidetracked. You're getting me sidetracked here. I'm enjoying about technology, talking about technology. We're going to talk about the different an hour from now. Yes, I do Dstar. Yes, so we're talking about Dstar. First of all, Dstar. I first got interested in Dstar. That was my first love. You know, that was first digital system I fell in love with. It was brilliant. And you need to, first of all, to register on this is all going to be very technical information, so I'm trying to monitor the comments, but I've got a hell of a lot to go through. So Dstar, Todd is saying greetings to Oscar. Oscar's going live on Freestar later at 9:25. So Dstar, to register, you have to register with ICOM. You can register your call sign with ICOM, and it does take quite a while, a week or two. You can register with a local Dstar repeater, and I had all sorts of problems. Someone show Sam's comment, please. Thank you. And on Dstar you can do simplex. You're on a simplex frequency. I'm on the same frequency as Sam. I was talking Sam through all this last week. And we did talk simplex, didn't we, Sam? So I'm on the same frequency as Sam, but in digital mode, and that's simplex, and it works. Nothing else to put in, you know, like a color code or a slot. That's not present on Dstar. So a hotspot can be simplex or duplex. Digital Ham Diary, M0FXB, he knows all about that. Check out his YouTube channel. Dstar on a hotspot simplex is just you're on a simplex frequency. There's two ways to set up a hotspot frequency. You can set it up in the repeater list, in the simplex, you know, put it in the channel, switch it to DR mode, or you can have it on a duplex setup. Yeah, well, I've got a box here ready for you, Sam. I've told you I've got one here. I've made for you already. A hotspot's very similar to a repeater. A repeater would just be duplex. And when you're going through a repeater, you see, when on Dstar, when you're going through a hotspot, you would be connecting to. You've got the DR mode, so there'll be the from. So you're going from your hotspot and to, and then you'd link it to the reflector. But on Dstar, on repeaters, you've also got the gate. You can do a gateway call, so you can link it to a actual real repeater. You know, I've got a real repeater, Dstar in Leicester. I think Sam said it's in Leicester. I haven't had much success with it. With my aerials, oh no, my arm's hurting, I've just got to take that off. And in Leicester it's called GB7CF, and you can do a gateway call where you can link that repeater to another repeater. So that's Dstar, and on Dstar you can use reflectors. Reflectors are owned by ICOM, and I've just got to stand up. My arm hurts. Hold on a minute. I've just got to stand up. And I'll just probably kneel down because it's very awkward just kneeling down. So, lost my trail of thought there. So, on Dstar, you've got reflectors which are owned by ICOM. And you've got DCS and XLX reflectors, XREF reflectors, and they both use the CCS7, you know, the DMR ID number. If you don't have a DMR ID number on Dstar, you will not be able to use anything other than reflectors, because that's ICOM's system, reflectors. And on Dstar, you can also control it with IRC DDB remote software on your phone or on your on your Android or your iPhone. So it is possible. I'm just looking at the comments. I'm just trying to get comfortable. Jimbo GB3CF is C4FM. Well, GB3CF is when the news comes on a Sunday, is FM for an hour. It is C4FM, but Sam told me it's Dstar. I have connected to Dstar, but I haven't actually had a contact. So on UK repeaters, I'm sure it only says Fusion. Fusion, yeah. Right. So DMR is the most complicated one, but it's one of my favourite ones because I don't like easy. If you can do it in 2 seconds, it's not much fun. So DMR, you need to register for your DMR ID number, and you register for your DMR ID number, and that is called the CCS7 number. And if you were going to do simplex on DMR, I would be on the same frequency as Jimbo, and in the UK it would be, anywhere in the world it would be colour code 1, because it's got to be something obvious. It would be slot 1 or slot 2, doesn't matter. It would be talk group 9. In the UK it's talk group 9. In Netherlands it would be talk group 99. What would it be in America? Doug's brat, he knows this stuff. John Earnshaw, hi bud, wishing you a speedy recovery. Yeah, thank you my friend, highly appreciate that. Trying to answer the questions. Todd is saying you can set the hotspot for a steady reflector or talk group rather than dial in. Well, it depends what we're talking about. If it's Dstar, you can do it on gateway mode. Make a gateway call. Yeah, just reading all the comments. So DMR hotspots, normally they're simplex and they're colour code 1 slot 2 and they're linked to a talk group, and the group call is a call to a talk group and private call is a call to an individual, which is not actually private because you can listen in with digital monitor. A repeater is very similar, but with 2 different slots. You can have a different conversation going on slot 1 and slot 2. And on DMR we use talk groups. On Brandmeister there's the unlink command. You can unlink with a group call 4000. But if you're using Freestar, are you still there, Oscar? Oscar's well into the Freestar. You can free DMR. You can unlink. You don't need to unlink. On Brandmeister, you need to do a group call 4000 to unlink when you go from one talk group to another. On free DMR, that's not necessary. So over to Fusion. They're just painkillers. They're is it Cody something? Put them in the comments. They just work. I don't know what they're called. Codeine. So on Fusion is the most simple setup there is. Now, I'd like to speak to someone who is an absolute expert on Fusion. I mean, I think I know everything I need to know about it, about all the systems, but I'd also like to learn. So, thank you, John Earnshaw. So, if you know more than me, I would love to speak to you. I don't need an expert, but I'd like to speak to an expert to learn more. I can do everything I need. But on Fusion, you don't need to register. You just type in your call sign in a Fusion radio. Put that in the comments if you've done that. Just put yes if you've done that in the comments. Jimbo's very modest, he's not an expert. But just put a yes in the comments if you've done that. You put your call sign in your radio. Surely that is a security flaw. Yesu, follow my... You need to... I don't believe you do on Fusion. If you're absolutely sure, John Earnshaw, let me know. But you do not need to You do not need to only use Fusion on Blue DV. Well, it's the same. You just put your call sign in the radio and it just works. If I'm wrong, I'd like someone to tell me. But on Fusion, you don't need to register. You put your call sign in. Secondly, if you want to do simplex, it's as simple as Dstar. You'd be in a VFO frequency or on a memory channel which is set as a simplex frequency. You don't need a color code or a time slot. You just need to be on that frequency on simplex, and you can talk to people on Fusion. C4FM is their mode, which is for, it's their variant of FM, you know, C4FM, which gets very confusing. And you can, when you're on C4FM simplex, you can do GM mode, which is group mode, group monitor? Yeah, group mode. I can put up my call sign, I can press a button, and it will beacon it out every time I transmit. Or it will beacon it out when I'm not here. And other people that transmit, it shows me them. It shows me their call sign, because you can do this over HF. You can sit on 10 meters, 29,250, and people are beaconing out their call sign. And you don't need to key up. You can see if people are watching. See if people are present. You know, you can do DXing without. You can see their call sign on the screen on HF, and that is incredible. So on a hotspot, it's just the same, but it's duplex. It could be duplex. So there'll be an input and an output frequency. There is a way to do a private call on Dstar, by the way. I missed that out. It's called call sign routing. You just put the call sign of the other person in the your field. And on DMR, it's called private call, where you type in the ID number of the other person. And on Fusion, I've never done it. Has anyone ever done any sort of person-to-person private call or call sign routing on Fusion? I've never done it. Yaesu are following my channel because they put me right on a few things in the past. So John Crooks at Yaesu, he does follow my channel. I know he does, because he put me right on a few things in the past. So, is there anything, you know, put it in the comments. Is there anything I've missed out? By the way, on Fusion we use rooms. You know, the YSF is from Yaesu. That's the Yaesu's own system, YSF, and FCS. Was it FSC? Is a proprietary system, which is a third party. You know. That's nothing to do with Yaesu. It's a bit like DCS and X reflectors. But any questions? Taking any questions? John Earnshaw is on Fusion, and it won't let you use the network. There's a lot of questions. Terry, hi Chris, Digital. There's all these questions coming from. I've never had this where I can't keep up with questions, but there's a hell of a lot of them going on here. I've never ever missed a question. Probably have, but I'll try my best not to. Yes, GM is group monitor. Terry G7 WRS. Hi Chris, Andreas and Andy Cal. Yeah, Fusion is basically rooms, but it's also YSF and FCS, but they're called rooms, yes. GM is ID beacon only if selected, yes. Fusion is full APRS. Well, the Fusion radios do full APRS, but the Kenwood D74, that's full APRS, so that does it as well. Ashley, I didn't know you could do a private chat on Dstar. Yes, you can. I did it a few days ago. If you want to do a test, give me a call. Send me an email. It's called call sign routing. And in the UR field, Uniform Romeo, you can put put my call sign, and you must be in direct contact with me. But you've got to be careful, because if you don't unlink, if you're on 1 Charlie, the correct procedure is to unlink from 1 Charlie, and then it says not linked, and then call me or someone else on call sign routing, and then it will go. The call will go right through to me, and other people won't hear me, but they won't. If you did it wrong, people on 1 Charlie would hear your reply. So if you were talking to me about something dodgy, and you were coming back to me, if you said something bad, or it would go out over all the repeaters. So you need to unlink first, and then say this is a private call. This is a call sign routing call on Dstar. Right, just trying to keep up with the comments. So I think we've been through everything. So you've got to really know what you're doing, otherwise hundreds of people will hear you. So we've spoken about all the stuff, and at 9:25 tonight, Oscar, are you still there, Oscar, in the comments? Oscar is going live, and this is Oscar's channel. He is just going to move my share my left display so you can see his YouTube channel. And could you put a link, Jimbo, to Oscar's, or any of the moderators, to Oscar's channel? It is Oscar, OSCAR 2E1HWE. Oscar 2E1HWE. Could you please put a link to that in the YouTube chat? I'm just going to put a little. This is at 9:25 tonight. 9:25 tonight. About 45 minutes away, just less than an hour. I'm going to press play, but I'm going to turn the audio off because I don't want to play any of the audio. So that's his call sign there, because it contains copyright music, which I'll get a copyright strike. So Oscar is just talking about his setup. He's got the FTM 400 in the background, the 991. And to get involved in the net tonight, this is a list of all the connections available. I wish on YouTube there was an option to post a photo or a link, I don't have this in a Dropbox, but I'll keep coming back to this. If you can get into any of these nodes, or DMR, Dstar Fusion, Echolink, YSF, Dstar, CQ, all of this stuff, you can get in on the live net tonight. Okay, so I'm just going over to my other monitor. Keep the comments going. I'm enjoying this. Quite a lot of people watching. I'm very impressed with the turnout tonight. Okay, so just going back to the normal setup. I think my camera's going to die soon. I heard a beeping. Anyway, so we've covered the comment, and don't forget the likes. I can see 20 likes at the moment. Let me just move it over. Just here, 20 likes. 21 likes. Do I see 21? Yes, 21. Do I see 22? 23? I don't want anyone to remove a like, because that would be very upsetting if anyone moved one. Right, 25 likes. That's pretty good. That's gone up a bit. 38 people watching. 27 likes. Very good. But I don't want anyone to remove a like. How many likes are you seeing that end? You know, not my end, your end. Is it 28? I'm seeing 28 this way. 30. Got two at once there. That was impressive. I think I'll leave it there. Okay, right, so go back to my normal setup. You know, the likes are now on 30, so that's superb. Thank you very much. So does anyone want to call in live? Do we want to take calls live? You know, put it in the comments. Just put live, you know. I'll just sit on 2353 because, you know, I had quite a lot of stuff to cover today, but I've sort of covered it pretty quickly, even though it's complicated. I wasn't expecting it to be that, to go through that smoothly. So I'm just checking the comments. I'm going to be taking calls on DMR 2353 first. If one of the moderators, Jimbo or someone, Andy Cowley, can put it in the comments. DMR 2353, and I'll be on there in a minute. I'm just going through the comments, checking I haven't missed anything. WiresX is controlled. Todd is saying WiresX is controlled by Yaesu and is not open like Fusion. WiresX you have to register, correct? Yes, you do. You do have to register on WiresX. That's a good point. But WiresX is not Fusion. Fusion is the system of Yaesu, but WiresX is different, and it's a bit of a difficult naming system, isn't it? You know, C4FM, that's if you go simplex. That's the actual frequency. You know, it's not FM. When you're in the mode, it's the mode of C4FM. So it's a very confusing system. And it's a very good point. I used to have a HRI 200, and by the way, I sold to Andreas's friend. I sold my FTM 100, and I got a message from Yaesu. Someone is trying to register on your radio, and so they do have good security in place. I sold it to Andreas, digital ham radio dial M0FXB, to his friend Adam, and that's no good. Ashley can only see 6 likes. That's no flipping good. We're on 31 actually, but you might want to forward it. I don't know if you're watching a bit behind. You can make sure you're at the very rightmost part of the stream, because we're on the right. You know, if you're half an hour, if you press pause to take a phone call, you might only see 6 likes. We're on 32. Right, so we're going to take calls on 2353, and I'm going to switch on my DMR. Hopefully the audio will be okay. 2353, group call. I can see people keying up. Okay, right, I'm going to put a call out on 2353. 2E0 UKH listening on 2353. Anyone there? I mean, I know there is, because I recognise someone's call sign there. We're on DMR 23. I could see Joe. Was it Joe? Okay, this is Chris 2E0 UKH on DMR 2353. Listening. So keep it going in the comments. Doug Spratt's put it in. DMR Brandmeister 2353. So there's no one keying up yet. I did see someone else keying up a minute ago. 2E0 UKH listening on 2353. You know, if you're not certain it's working, you can do a parrot. So I'm pretty sure it's working. Let me just untick the DMR and check my settings. I'm at the end. Sounds good in Florida. The DCS guy, you heard me in Florida, is that correct? DCS guy, just give me a yes. Just put yes, yes. DCS guy, you heard me on DMR 2353. I don't think there's many people on there. I think that's what it was. Okay, so someone come back to me from the live stream. This is 2E0UKH. 2E0UKH. There's always a delay when you put it. Yeah, okay. Didn't catch the call sign because you caught me off guard. And by the way, I did hear Andreas. You were terribly loud. Please turn your volume down, Andreas. M0FXB, you were terribly loud. So I'm just turning the audio levels up, and I'm just going to check your call sign. It was. Oh, that's interesting. It's. Are you a new ham? Because on my screen it's not coming up with a call sign, and so are you a new ham? Back to you.
2E0 UKH with M7 BCN, which should be in the database, or
Yeah, Roger on that. Yeah, well, on mine, which is Blue DV, I haven't clicked the update button for a few weeks. You know, nothing's perfect. You know, it doesn't always work. But anyway, thank you for joining in, and I hope are you watching the live stream on YouTube? Yeah, just checking you're watching the live stream on YouTube. Back to you.
to E0 UKH M7 BCN. Yep, we've got the last stream on. I've just paused it while I give you the radio check, Chris, over.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well, thank you for joining in. How long have you been watching the YouTube channel? And what was the operator name that way?
to E0 UKH M7 BCN. Yeah, it's Brian, Chris. I spoke to you via email, and we arranged the QSO. I joined the Facebook group last week, and I've been watching the stream barring a phone call I had to take from the beginning. Over.
Yeah, got you, Brian. I remember you well because now bear in mind I haven't got your call sign on the screen, and I've got 3 monitors. I'm trying to keep track of everything. Is that the Brian? Was it Brian Nicholson or something like that? Who is? You were messaging me, and I spoke to you on a talk group up in North Huddersfield or Hull or somewhere up north. Was that you, Brian, or the other Brian?
to E0 UKH M7 BCN returning. Yeah, it's Brian. We talked on 23561, I believe. It's the North East talk group, over.
Yeah, Roger on that. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you for calling in, and I think you've been following my channel for a long time. You know, you sent me a wonderful message. You said I'm sure you, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you said I've watched virtually every single video you've done. So what a huge compliment. Thank you so much. I'll be doing D-Star, don't worry, Ashley.
UKH M7 BCN returning. Yeah, I watch yourself, I watch Lewis and DX Commander. The free channels I constantly watch 24/7. Anyway, I won't keep it, Chris, because I'm sure there'll be other people that'll be wanting to give it a shout, and I want to get back to watching the live stream as well. So thanks for coming back to me, Chris. 2E0 UKH M7 BCN.
Yeah, okay, Brian. Well, thank you so much, and you know, keep watching the channel. There'll always be something interesting. something new we're trying, and you know, I'm still learning. You know, people put things in the comments, and we're learning stuff all the time. You know, even me. You know, I've got all the modes going. I've got 6 hotspots going, and trying to remember it. That's the difficult thing. Reflector will be on 30 Delta on Dstar, as long as I can get on there. So I don't want to go. Actually, I don't want to go on a busy one, because they're a bit funny on 1 Charlie or 30 Charlie. Anyway, 7-3 Brian, and thank you for calling in. So we're on DMR 2353.
Thanks, Chris. Take care. 20 UPHM 7BCN clear.
Okay, so I'm listening for calls on DMR 2353. I'm on Brandmeister. Brandmeister Talk Group 2353. Listening for any calls. Yeah, go ahead, Andreas. M0FXB. That's check out that YouTube channel. That's Andreas. M0FXB, and your audio is now too quiet, and that's good because you altered it because it was overpowering. But it's always best to check it on a parrot. On, you know, private call 9990. So just bring the audio up a bit, and we'll try again, Andreas. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm struggling to hear you. I hope people in the put in the chat. Can you hear Andreas? But just put Andy yes or Andy no. You know, you can hear him or you can't. Just reading the comments. What reflector will you be on? Ashley is saying on Dstar. I'll be on 30 Delta. 30 Delta. John N4 EJM. Greetings, Chris from North Carolina. Thank you, John, for joining in. Right, wind your audio up a bit more. We're on DMR 2353. Wind it up a bit more, Andreas. I think the guys in the comments on the YouTube are having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just on Dstar doing it just what it's fire. So apologies, I'll stand by.
Yeah, that's okay. You're on Dstar. That's okay. Dstar is quite loud. Dstar is quite loud. It can go very loud. You've got a mic gain control. Dstar is on the Windows PC. Anyway, any more traffic, Andreas, and then I'll hand it over to someone else.
No, it's okay. I'll stand by. I'll stand by.
Yeah, okay, Andreas. Well, you are super loud and clear. Well, you're super clear. You're not loud and clear, but you're super clear. You know, it Ashley is saying still too quiet, but we're moving on to someone else. And but the main thing is, Dstar works great. You've just got to do a parrot test first. Private call 9990. Okay, any more calls on 2353 2E0 UKH in the UK?
Kilo Whiskey. Just listening through to your rather enjoyable channel.
Yeah, M6KKW, I think it was M6KKW. Thank you. Enjoyable channel. I've never heard it called that before, but thank you very much. I'm just turning the audio up a bit so other people can hear better. So I do recognise the voice. I know I've spoken to you before, but how long have you been watching? You know, what is your interest in digital radio? You know, is there anything you want to talk about?
Mike 6 Kilo Whiskey responding. Yes, well, I mean, this is all the digital channels. I run a YSF reflector. I cross-link it to a DMR hotspot. I run All-Star and Echolink nodes, so no, I'm quite into it in a reasonable. I've not used Dstar because I haven't got the radios to do it. But apart from that, no, I do enjoy the digital stuff. I live in an area where HF is a real problem. I'm surrounded by solar panels, so I get huge amounts of noise. So HF is pretty much out of the question for me. So I just listen to Fusion, DMR, All-Star, Echolink, and obviously the local FM repeaters. I'm quite lucky down here because we've got 3 Fusion repeaters that link together once a week. They're not online, so it's only simplex. So they're Southampton, Portsmouth, and Bognor Regis. So it has quite a long spread down the south.
The scrolling stuff uses the bandwidth, Jimbo.
DMR isn't very popular around here. They all tend to be Fusion.
I can hear myself in the background. Yeah, okay, very interesting. You know, you've got to be. I think you've got to be really lucky to have a DMR, Dstar Fusion, All-Star, Echolink. No one's got everything all around them, so you have to adapt. And the way I do that is I've got 6 hotspots here running DMR, Dstar Fusion, All-Star, Echolink, IRLP, and try and have everything covered. I've got HF transceivers, I've got mag loops, wires, but you know, I'm in a restricted, you know, I'm in a block of flats, so I totally get that. But you've got to try everything you can do, can't you? You've got to try everything, you know, and sometimes you'll be surprised. You know, I'm in a block of flats, and no joke, let me just try and move my camera. Look in the bottom right. I'm not sure if you can see in my loft. Oh, it's behind the green screen, but up in the loft I've got a ground plane antenna, and I've hit the space station. I've hit the space station repeater. So that's really cool. Anyway, back to you for your final there, Bazan. I know there's a lot of people waiting.
Mike 6 Kilo Whiskey. Again, my name's Nick. Responding. Yeah, thanks, Chris. No, it's been a pleasure. I'll talk again soon. I'll let someone else have a go. 73s, everyone.
Yeah, okay, Nick. Many thanks for calling in. Love your support on the channel. Seen you on here loads of times. Oscar is putting in the comments 2E1HWE. That's his call sign. Put it into YouTube. You can see the link. Freestar connects all the modes mentioned together tonight, even Echolink and Zello. Right, listening for any more calls, and I am going to put a link to Oscar's. Actually, I'm going to make Oscar a moderator so he can put it in for me. Oscar is now a moderator on my channel. Oscar, feel free to post a link to your YouTube live stream, which is going on soon at 9:25, 25 minutes from now roughly. So listen in for any more calls on 2353. Yeah, so Oscar, put a link. You're a moderator now. Put a link to your YouTube, and you sent it to me by messenger, but I can't access that from this computer. So listen in for any more calls on 2353, and then we're going to move on to Dstar 30 Delta. So listen in on 2353, and then moving on to 30 Delta Dstar. So Oscar, put a link to your live YouTube in the comments. Now you're a moderator. Okay, nothing else heard on Dstar. Excellent. We are QRV at 9:30 UK time, and it's about 20-25 minutes from now. So we're going to QSY over to Dstar. So DMR is off, and we're going to go over to Dstar. We're going to go to 30 reflector 30 delta. Right, I'm
REF030D.
And don't worry, I've not forgotten DMRs on the screen. Going to alter that. Oh. Let me just remove this off the screen. Remember, I'm doing this with my bad hand. It's very difficult to do. I'm going to add the text. Dstar. How weird. Add new. Remember, I can't. Yeah, it's not working. This is not a very good feature. I was trying to put the put it in the comments. Holy schmoly! Yeah, Dstar.
TTI listening out for any contacts.
Yeah, M7 TTI. Go ahead. This is Chris 2E0 UKH.
Yeah, just watching the live stream at the moment. Sounds like the reflector's working fine. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate you watching the live stream. I'm trying to get this. It just says S. I'm trying to get D. I'm trying to type in Dstar on the screen. It's this is an experimental thing. Create a new, and I'm going to give it the text Dstar 30 delta. Okay, that's gone in. That's good. So we're on Dstar 30 delta. So just getting your call sign back up on the screen. M7 TTI. That's a good call sign. So how long have you been watching the? How long have you been watching this YouTube channel? Back to you.
Yeah, only a number of weeks. I'm trying to get.
Good.
When I got my license, I did it during the COVID lockdown. So I've never ever been to any clubs, you know, ham radio clubs or anything.
Totally get that, yeah.
So all my, to pass my exam, I just had to read up that Foundation Now book. I haven't got any idea how to, you know, the etiquette of talking on the repeaters and how to do calls. I've got no practical experience at all.
That's okay.
Which I think I need. So I've been trying to look up people's YouTube channels to try and work out how to talk on the radio, what to say exactly, what not to say, and how to do it. Back to you.
Okay, well I'm a bit rusty as well. That's okay, you know, don't worry about it. You know, just as long as you say your call sign occasionally and you're polite and you know. So I tell you what we'll do. What you would do, you would go to. You're doing a great job. Yes, keep it up. Andy Cowley's got the right idea. It's a very encouraging comment. What we'll do, you throw your call sign you throw your call sign. Just say, pretend we're on a repeater, right? Just throw out your call sign, and I'll come back to you, and you'll pick up the etiquette from there. So just throw out your call sign, and I'll come back to you. You know, pretend we just met.
M7 TTI, Mike 7 Tango Tango India, listening out for any calls.
Yeah, M7 TTI, this is 2E0 UKH. You know, normally I would say the other person's call sign and then mine. So M7 TTI, this is 2E0 UKH. How are you doing today?
Yeah, M7 TTI returning, is that what you say? I've already forgotten your call sign, 2E0, can't remember the rest of it, so that's some of the things I struggle with, is not remembering the other person's call sign when I'm online. I can write it down, but maybe I should do that. Usually what I do is go on the Dstar page and you know, look on there for the call sign back to you.
Yeah, that is absolutely fine. You know, we all forget stuff. You know, I'm not writing it down because I've got flipping 4 cameras here. I've only got one arm, and I'm using my bad arm, my bad hand to write, you know, or to click on anything. So if I can do it, anyone can. But Sam W said it best in the comments. Just listen to how other people do it over and over again. Listen, but you've done nothing wrong. You've confirmed, you know, you've said most of my call sign, and I know you're talking to me. And you know, in a perfect scenario, we'd have a pen. So now there is a Facebook group, just so you know, Ashley. Ashley, there is a Facebook group. Put it in the comments, reflecting me. It's call in CQ. Call in CQ. And you can learn all about the etiquette and range contacts with someone who's very understanding. So and you don't have to say your call sign or my call sign on every over. That can get annoying. So what I do, I just pick up on the other person's name. You know, my name is Chris, so if you just come back to me as Chris, that's fine. But the rule is you just say the call sign frequently. Back to you. From Chris 2E0 UKH.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I was taught in the foundation course to give your call sign at the beginning of when you call CQ, and every 15 minutes, and when you change frequency.
Yes, that's correct.
Change mode, I think that was it. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with you on changing frequency. You know, if we were changing frequency, I would exchange calls. I would say this is 2E0 UKH QSY to 145300. We'd go there and I'd ask, is the frequency in use? Then I would say my call sign. Probably say, is anyone, you know, just double checking, is anyone else using the frequency? If nothing heard, I would call you in. But it used to be, it depends what version of the book you've got. It used to be in the UK, you would say, you'd say your call sign at least every 15 minutes, but they changed it to frequently. They changed it in the UK Foundation, in the UK amateur thing, the amateur rules, just to say it frequently. So out of courtesy, I would say it every 5 overs. So back to you. This is Chris 2E0 UKH.
M7TTR returning. Thanks, Chris. Okay, well, I've got some, I don't want to tie up the reflector for too long. Yeah, thanks for your advice. I'll certainly carry on with the watching of your videos, and I seem to be learning a lot, so thanks for that. So I'll say 73 then, and turn my radio off and carry on watching the video. M7TTI, back to you.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, you're doing really, really well. You haven't done anything wrong. You're just as good an operator as me. You're very honest. You didn't catch the call sign, and you say you can't. I didn't quite catch that. You're doing everything right. So carry on what you're doing, and listen a lot. Do a lot of listening, and just copy what people are saying. No one's going to shout you down, and if anyone does, they're showing themselves up. They're showing themselves up as a ham radio operator, because that's not what ham radio is about. It's not about someone showing how good they are and they know everything. It's about teaching people and getting people into the hobby. So 7-3, and thanks for calling in.
Okay, 7-3. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, listening for any more calls on Dstar 30 Delta. Dstar 30 Delta. This is Chris 2E0 UKH.
UKH, good evening, Chris. This is, I'll confuse you now, GW3JVB, but I'm still registered on Dstar as 2 Whiskey 0 JVB. Reflecting me in the chat. Good evening, everybody, if you're listening. Good to see you back online, Chris. You're looking a lot better now than you were a couple of weeks ago. Glad to see you on the road to recovery, mate. Thanks for letting me mention that Facebook group. And Ashley, you're doing a great job, mate. As Chris said, I'll echo what Chris said if you're still listening. You're doing a super job. Sam mentioned a bit further up in the chat as well that listening is your biggest helper. It really is. Just get on the bands, use an SDR, web-based SDR. Listen to the bands, listen to what people are saying, and just pick it up from what you hear. Take information from all of the bands. You're doing a great job. Don't worry about it. You're doing a sterling job. 2 Echo 0 UKH. I'll use my Dstar call. 2 Whiskey 0 Juliet Victor Bravo. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, okay, John. Yeah, you're doing very good there, and good advice, Jimbo. Isn't Chris just a very understanding operator? No, I'm trying to get more people involved in the hobby, and if someone is not understanding and they're coming back to you, then quite frankly, they're not worth talking to. If someone wouldn't help someone that's new to the hobby or shout them down, then they're a worse operator than someone that is new. We need to get more people in the hobby, and we all make mistakes. I've made mistakes loads of times. Ham radio dude. Does anyone follow? I think Andy Cowley and Jimbo. Ham radio dude. My friend there, Sean in America. It'd be lovely if he was watching. He made a mistake, and I think he transmitted on the wrong part of the band, and he contacted the ARRL. That's the equivalent of the RSGB, and he he reported himself. Yes, he reported himself, and he made a mistake, and he said I was transmitting in the wrong area. And we all make mistakes, and it doesn't matter if you do, and if you do, you just apologise and move on. If you made the mistake, you were swearing every single day, after 1 or 2 or 3 you're repeating it, you'd be kicked off, you'd lose your license. But you make a mistake, a genuine friendly mistake, it's not a problem. So over to you, John.
2 Echo 0 UKH, 2 Whiskey 0 JVB. also GW3 JVB, reflecting me on the chat there. Yeah, great advice, Chris. Everybody should listen up to that, especially new foundation license holders. Just listen. Everyone I've heard is doing a great job. The one thing we got to remember is that we've had, thousands of new license holders come to the hobby in the past year, since the exams have been done online. But the one thing, I'm not against that. I think it's a great thing. But I think the one thing that doesn't happen, of course, is that when you're in a club, in a club to do your training with members of the club, you would have used a radio as part of the practical. Well, now the practical isn't happening. We're finding that lots of people are getting their license, passing the exam, and they're buying a radio, or based on good advice from all sorts, but they've never used the radio before, so they may be microphone shy, or not so confident in using it. So just get on the air. If you make a mistake, so what? Learn, listen, and you'll get it right. So for anyone else who's new to it, just get on the air. So won't keep it then, Chris. Nice to see you on camera again. Nice to see your ugly mug there. Great you're doing well. And I only wish I could shout to your Amazon device to play the music in the background, but I'm not going to be that cruel, because I won't do that to you a second time.
Yes, well, it's not going over the speakers this way.
Keep on the improvement, Chris. Keep on the road to recovery. Keep taking those pills. And nice to see everybody in the chat as well. All the best, everybody. 2 Echo Zero,
Thank you, my man.
2 Whiskey Zero JVB, also GW3 JVB. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, okay, John. Yeah, thank you very much for calling in. 2 Whiskey Zero JVB, John. This is Chris, 2E0 UKH. Thank you so much for calling in, and check out John's Facebook group. He put it in this description. It's called Call In CQ. I'll just let you say the name of it on your last over, and then we've got to go over to Fusion next. So over to you. By the way, we'll be on Fusion FCS3 room 48, which is Bob K6 UDA's room. So over to you for your final. Mention your Facebook group. I know you put it in the comments, but just say it out loud for people.
So 20 UKH, 2 Whiskey Zero JVB. Thanks, Chris. It's a bit of a mouthful, the name, but it's on HF, VHF, UHF soon now. Calling CQ, seeking contacts. If you type calling CQ into the search, if you don't see it in the chat here, I'm sure you'll find it. It's fairly popular. I post it not very often, but once a month or so in some of the amateur radio groups. I'll pop the link there if you haven't found it. Alternatively, look at my QRZ page. You need to look at the GW3 JVB call sign though, and there's a link on there as well. So thanks, Chris. Thanks for kindly letting me give that group a mention. It's there to help everybody. By all means, feel free to join, folks. Keep up the great work, Chris. 2 Echo Zero. And you, Ashley, by the way. Anybody else who's listening. 2 Echo Zero, UKH. This station on Dstar, 2 Whiskey Zero JVB. And elsewhere, GW3 JVB. Thanks, Chris. 73.
Yeah, okay, John. Yeah, thank you for calling in. 7-3. And just listening for any more calls on Dstar 30 Delta. Then we're going over to Fusion FCS3 room 48. So listening for any more calls on Dstar. And is Roger Schlutz in the house?
Mike 7 Sierra Bravo Golf.
Yeah, got you there. Mike 7. Was it SBG? Mike 7 Sierra Bravo Golf. Yeah, go ahead. I recognise that call sign, Steve. Is that Steve I spoke to earlier in the chat before the live stream went live?
Yeah, Mike 7 Sierra Bravo Golf. Yeah, Chris, it was me. I've been playing around, like you said, in the open spot control panel. I first heard you in the
what was he was in the first network that he was in, and then I came back to it. I went off, and I came back to it, and then you'd moved over to Dstar.
Larry Jackson in the house.
I'm going to play in the control panel, like
KK4 SPW.
and found my way here. It looks like it's working, but I still cannot get in the YSF room that we spoke about earlier for the freestyle. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's something towards the network, but I was thinking I was doing something wrong. Maybe not. So yeah, it's all working. Over to you, Chris, from Mike 7 Sierra Golf.
Yeah, well, you're all working good. You know, it's all experimental. Hold on a minute. Alexa, stop. Right, I've got a reminder. Alexa's telling me. Got a reminder telling me that Oscar is going live. So just look on the right-hand screen. I'm going to move. I've got so many monitors. It's hard to find where your mouse pointer is. Right, find Oscar's channel. I'm going to be handing over to Oscar, and look on the screen. This is his name. It's Oscar. Oscar 2 Echo 1 2E1 HWE 2E1 HWE, and he's not quite gone live yet, so I'll keep that going on the side there, on the side. I'll keep that going on the side, and we will see when he goes live. He did post a link to me, and he did put one in the comments. Could one of the moderators scroll back to Oscar's link? So I'm just gonna unkey. Anyway, back to you, Steve. I'm just doing a few things in the background here. So I'm going to go over to my main video setup.
It's Chris. It's Mike 7 Sierra Golf. Yeah, it's like I say, all working well here now. I think I found the hang of it. I'm going to try and move over to the FCS room when you move over there. Check the working across there. And then all should be well and good. I'm using my FT3 at the moment. I've got Oscar on the Freestyle network. That's on my 878, and I've also got Echo Link on a mobile phone. Just having to play around, you know, just getting to grips with things and sort of trying to work my way through how it's all working. But like I said, I have been struggling with the YSF direct connection to Freestyle. But yeah, I will ask the question on the Facebook group and see what response we get. But I was thinking that I was doing something wrong, but obviously at least I'm not, you know, at least I'm doing everything right. I'm finding my way through to you, and everything seems fine. So yeah, over to you, Chris, from Maximum Sierra Golf.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say 7-3 because two reasons. Jimbo, top work, Chris, as always. Thank you. For two reasons, I need to go to the other room, and secondly, I can't see Oscar's live video. Doug's has Oscar gone live? I clicked on the link that Doug's has done. What is that YouTube you've done? Doug's has he gone live? Has Oscar gone live? Right, yes, he has. Right. Right. I'll say, first of all, I'll say 7-3 to Steve. Thank you for calling in. Over to you for your final, then I'll prepare Oscar's live stream on YouTube. So just to get him started, he's got 3 people watching. I've got 40 or 50, so we'll get him off to a good start. So 7-3, Steve. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, Chris, 7-3, and we'll speak again soon from Mike 7 Sierra Golf. I'll let you continue. Cheers.
Let me know in the comments.
Right, just put it in the comments. Can you hear Oscar's stream? Can you hear the audio okay? So put it in my comments. Can you hear? It's a bit scratchy my end. I think it might be this caller. But could you please put it in the comments that you're hearing the audio from the YouTube that I'm playing from Oscar. So I'm just going over to the left monitor. And there's Oscar's channel there.
Echo 1 Hotel Whiskey Echo. That is affirmative, affirmative. Over.
So Doug's not saying yes. Just give me another yes, so I know that it's perfectly coming through.
7 TTI listening.
So just put another yes in. Anyone put a yes in. Then I can go in the other room.
Here we go.
And I know it's working.
Good evening. 2 Echo 1 Hotel Whiskey Echo. Call in CQ Top Talk. CQ Top Talk. 2 Echo 1 Hotel Whiskey Echo. Call in.
So my internet has gone a bit rubbish. Don't give up on it.
And everyone listening, thanks for joining us. And yeah, it's good to be back.
So if you're hearing the audio, just write the words OK. Just put the letters OK in the comments, please.
And we will bring them in about half hour's time. So I think what we'd like to do first is just warm up a little bit. And I thought what would be a good idea, a bit like what happened last week there, we invite newly licensed stations only, just for the first hour, to call in and have a QSO. Works out quite well, and it's nice to hear some fresh voices, isn't it? So without further ado, I'll say CQ, any M7 or any other newly licensed, and also your QTH. And we'll just listen until we stop hearing the call signs calling, and then we'll go from the top. This is 2 Echo 1 Hotel Whiskey Echo. Call in CQ on the Top Talk net. Right, let's see how many we get called in. Unless they're all going to be shy.
Okay, so people are hearing it.
Oh.
Okay, let me just check how many people are watching my stream. 35 people watching my stream. And
if there's anyone else, QRZ please.
Oscar, he's got 14 people watching. So if you want to join this net,
you've got to at this stage. We will open it up to the rest of the world
one
shortly.
Of the following methods.
So please, again, I think we lost a few people there where people doubled. Newly licensed M7 stations or equivalent in the United Kingdom, please QRs over your call sign, your name and your location.
So are you seeing the picture okay from Oscar? This is 2
okay,
E1HWE.
So I think the first one I've got there is
just say picture okay. You're seeing the picture okay, and the audio's okay.
But I think it was Mike 7 Alpha Bravo. I think that may have been your call sign, but apologies if I'm incorrect. Could you just give me the call sign again, your name and your location? Over.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna cut the stream short because we're handing over to Oscar. Don't want to take. People might want to watch him and not me.
Yeah. Good evening there,
And,
Mike 7. Whiskey Alpha Bravo.
This has all gone very well. Put your 7-3s in the comments. Everyone watching.
Anyone
enjoyed the channel tonight?
It might be a bit difficult to understand, but give it a go. Hopefully, the connection in will be okay on the next over there.
A bit of a
tell us a little bit about
say 7-3.
Your favourite mode
7-3. That's my
that you've been transmitting on.
Thank you for watching and joining.
The reason why. It'd be good to hear
7-3.
how you're getting on there.
Put your 7-3s in the comments. 2 is a UKH.